I apologize if what I'm going to say applies to you and offends you, but you have to know it's for your own good. Look, I read Born to Run. I know that the whole barefoot running thing works for a lot of people, so much so that every now and then I see people, well, let me clarify, it's always men for some reason, out and about running with no shoes on, which makes me feel odd. At first I feel vaguely annoyed, and then I wonder why it annoys me so much. I think I have issues maybe with when it comes to unspoken social mores. And then I wonder what they do if they run on broken glass or on poop or something like that. Several runner friends of mine use 5 fingers or another type of barefoot running shoe, and they love them, and that's great. However, I'd like to posit strongly that these type of shoes should not be worn in any context other than jogging, or perhaps walking to or from a jogging-like activity. I've seen way too many people out and about this summer wearing barefoot shoes as regular shoes, and this will not stand. Normally, I can contain my rage when it comes to questionable footwear choices. Crocs never bothered me as much as they apparently did to other people. And while I think people who wear flip-flops in non-seasonal weather look unwise, and would personally never choose to wear them to the office, just whatever, they're inevitable. I don't love them, but I don't hate them, unless they're light-colored flip-flops and you can see the dirt foot imprint on the sole of the shoe. But I digress. Walking around in barefoot shoes makes you look like you're one step away from just walking around in your socks. And since most people tend to buy the black shoes, then they look like they're walking around in black dress socks. Black dress socks are rather inherently gross. So thinking about them walking about the city, getting all sweaty, is an abomination. Plus, the toe articulation properties of these shoes just make people look rather ape-like they're about to pick up a pen with their feet and start writing a screed about how their shoes are superior to everyone else's. Because that's the final thing. I'm probably overanalyzing, but the people who walk around in these shoes tend to give off an air of secret specialness. They don't necessarily act like they're thinking, get a load of my rad sock shoes, but you can tell there's something slightly suspicious going on in their minds. Something slightly evil made them decide to put on these weird foot shoes instead of a more traditional shoe. So just stop. Use your barefoot shoe for what they were made for, running. You wouldn't like to see a businessman walking around town in a blazer and a Speedo, nor would you feel right seeing your lady bus driver wearing nothing on top but a sports bra. Those shoes are made for running, not walking around. So get with the program and stop making us think about your feet. This is a piece I wrote called How to Write a Song for Your Haters. Friday singer and internet sensation Rebecca Black and I have a lot in common. We're both beautiful, talented, successful teenagers who were smart enough to use the internet to spread our craft and our message. Hers was Friday is a day of the week. Mine is I have an internet blog. However, we both suffer the scourge of haters, i.e. other people who are jealous of us and want to put us down just because we're awesome and dare to spread our wings. Basically, both know what it's like to be bullied. Each mean blog comment or YouTube thumbs down makes us know exactly what those kids who get beat up or ostracized at school must go through. After listening to her song, My Moment, I'm thinking that I'm going to follow Rebecca's footsteps and write a song about my haters, both to prove that I'm going to rise above all the internet bigotry they throw at me, and also to rub their noses in the fact that I'm so famous and talented and have such nice hair. I've examined closely the format of the hater song and have come up with the following template. Feel free to utilize it if you need to write a song about one of your haters. Verse 1. Here's where you call out your haters. It helps if you have someone specifically in mind who doubted your talents and perhaps even suggested that your new haircut was not that cute. Warn her that you're about to prove her wrong. Verse 2. Your haters want you to stop what you're doing. They want you to stop dreaming and achieving, probably because they're sad, fat people who don't want awesome, pretty girls like you to succeed. Tell your haters that you're not going to stop being so awesome. Chorus. Here you talk about how you are terrific and not going anywhere, and that you are just going to come back stronger and even prettier than before, even if they say mean things about you. Verse 3. In verse 1, you talked about that one specific ex-friend who dissed your haircut and who maybe spread nasty rumors about what you would and wouldn't do with certain guys who won't be named here. Well, forget about that former friend because you already vanquished her in verse 1. Here is where you address all the haters you've ever met. They're just angry because they want to be your friend in real life, but can't because you're so rad they wouldn't be able to take it. Bridge. This might be a great place to insert a rap part. If you know an urban person, or someone you know knows an urban person, ask them if they can help. And you go back to the chorus, you're not going anywhere, you're pretty, you have nice breath, good clothes. And then verse 4. I think just to make your song relatable, you should write this verse to encourage everyone else out there to stand up to their haters and reassure them that they are also pretty, awesome, special, and so on. This will make more people like your song, even though they should already like it because you wrote it. And then you go to the chorus, pretty, immune to meanness, thin, smell good, etc. And that's it. Get that down and you're sure to have an empowering, inspiring song that will prove you're not just some flash in the pan, but are here for the long haul, like 2 years even. So just remember, if people don't like you, they're just jealous. Do I have time for one little shorty? Okay. Okay, so recently several GOP candidates have been quite vocal with their opinions on evolution versus intelligent design. If Rick Perry sees evolution as a theory with some gaps in it, and Michelle Bachmann maintains that there can be reasonable doubt on both sides, and Ron Paul as a creationist simply doesn't accept that evolution occurred, you may well be curious about how they view other scientific theories and phenomena. Here's a primer I recently uncovered. Gravity. The force that attracts a body toward the center of the earth, or the weight pressed upon each of us by 1,000 angels sitting on our heads. You decide. Centripetal force. Some say this force is what makes a body follow a curved path, but there's enough reasonable doubt out there to allow for another theory, which is that God's just giving you a great big hug. You may have been led to believe that the periodic table is something a bunch of fancy, pointy-headed scientists came up with, but deep down in their hearts, many know that it's actually a long-forgotten appendix to the Bible. The law of conservation of mass is just proof that abortion is wrong. Plate tectonics, large-scale motions of Earth's lithosphere, or the Earth doing a happy dance to celebrate its creation. Both can be true. Black holes are simply baby Jesus' cute little dimples. Light travels at 299,792,458 meters per second, which, incidentally, is exactly the amount of time it takes a phone call from Earth to reach heaven. Are thermodynamics a branch of physics concerned with the complex effects of work, heat, and energy on a system? Or is it God's sweet, warm breath? You're smart enough to know which one is right. And finally, the theory of relativity is just none of our goddamn business. Thank you very much.